Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I've got 3 stories to share with you in this very latest Moon Lambo hot jam, starting with this one from the Crypto Basic. This, by the way, this one just cracks me up. That's why I'm going to start with this one. Ripple CEO and SEC chair listed as headlining speakers for upcoming DC FinTech Week. That's right. Brad Garlinghouse and Gensler headlining speakers at the same damn event. Might they cross paths? Might Brad Garlinghouse sneak in some words that maybe he otherwise wouldn't have just because Kim Jong-Gensler is present? I hope so. Here's another headline. This one's from the Cointelegraph, and this is an add-on to a story that I covered the other day. Got additional perspective, though, from attorney Jeremy Hogan and attorney John Deaton. Crypto lawyer says $20 million settlement is 99.9% win for Ripple. And then there's this one, a headline also from Cointelegraph. Fake Ledger Live app sneaks into Microsoft's App Store, $588,000 stolen. So maybe stick around to this one to the end so that you can check out this one. Because if you're like me and you use Ledger hardware wallets, or just a Ledger hardware wallet, I happen to have a bunch of them. If you do, you need to be aware of this scam and these types of scams. And I'm going to, because like literally right now, like you're at risk of losing all of your crypto that you hold. So just stick around if you could just spare a minute, and I'll run through exactly why it is, because it absolutely can be avoided easily. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, into the first piece. Crypto community members are expecting an interesting DC FinTech Week as Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse and SEC Chair Gary Gensler are listed as headlining speakers. Now, folks, I hope that Kim Jong-Gensler was invited to this first, and then Brad Garlinghouse, and Brad's like, oh, yes, I'm going to this mother. I hope that was the case. He's like, oh, yeah, oh, I'm going to this one. That little Mr. Burns lookalike's going to be yeah, you bet I'm coming. Anyway, piece continues. Members of the cryptocurrency community anticipate that this year's DC FinTech Week will be an exciting event, given its list of speakers. It is interesting to note that both Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse and the chairman of the SEC, Gary Gensler, are listed as headlining speakers for the event. The development was shared yesterday by the Bank for International Settlements, or BIS for short. In a tweet yesterday, the BIS announced it will co-host the 2023 DC FinTech Week, a FinTech-related event scheduled for November 6th through 9th, 2023. And so I surmise that Brad Garlinghouse will be speaking on November 6th, since the Ripple Swell event is on the 8th and 9th, if I'm not mistaken. You can fact check me. I'm pretty darn sure. I'm pulling from memory, but I'm pretty sure Swell is the 8th and the 9th. But there you can see there's a picture of Kim Jong-Gensler and as well as Brad Garlinghouse. And so I'm hoping that when he's speaking, when he's talking about fintech, I hope that he has a notable section about the lack of regulatory clarity in the crypto space in the United States and exactly how it pertains to what's happening with the SEC. That would be rich. I would love it. It would be delightful. And I'm going to guess that he does something like that. So hopefully we'll get a little peek at what's happening when he's actually speaking here, because a lot of these things, they end up all up on the webinet. But it's a fun thing, and I hope they cross paths, and I hope that Brad Garlinghouse just mean mugs and just give him that death stare, because Kim Jong-Gensler is the little baby back bitch as far as I'm concerned. And I think we all agree on that. He's a baby back bitch. Little baby back bitch. Now here we have the next story from Cointelegraph. Crypto lawyer says $20 million settlement is 99.9% win for Ripple. A prominent cryptocurrency attorney, John Deaton, has offered insights into the United States Securities and Exchange Commission v. Ripple lawsuit. He contends that a settlement of $20 million or less would constitute a significant legal triumph for the company. In a recent post on X, formerly Twitter, Deaton strongly refuted the idea that the lawsuit's result was an even 50-50 outcome for the SEC, claiming that it's closer to a 90-10 advantage in favor of Ripple. And so you can think back to when we got that legal clarity for Ripple, July 13th, XRP Victory Day. Fantastic day. But the toxic Bitcoin maxi trolls, do you remember the nonsense that they were spouting? They were saying, oh, well, look, sure, there's the programmatic side, and that was a win for Ripple. But then the SEC, they got the win on the institutional side, so it's split. It's 50-50. No one got completely what they wanted. It was about a 50-50 toss-up. No, that's not even close to what happened. Because we all know, for being honest, and those little Bitcoin maxi trolls, toxic as they are, absolutely not being intellectually honest. The truth is that the core component of this case, the only thing that really truly mattered, was the legal status of XRP itself. That's what the fight was truly about. And it was found that XRP itself is not a security. XRP itself. That's a stunning defeat for the SEC. And as far as the institutional side, look, even if Ripple gets fined to whatever degree, and they may not, but even if they do, that doesn't mean that they can't operate on-demand liquidity moving forward. And so there was this post, and this is the part that I shared yesterday, this post from Stuart Alderati. He's referencing the SEC v. Goville case. So it's another stunning defeat for the SEC. They're just on a losing streak, and I love to see it. Fills my heart with joy, as I said yesterday. This is from Stuart Alderati now. Another loss this week for the SEC. The streak continues. The Second Circuit in SEC v. Goville held that the SEC can't ask for a crippling disgorgement award without first proving that investors suffered actual financial harm. In other words, no harm, no foul. And so, folks, you got to kind of wonder, and again, since this doesn't apply on the programmatic side, so people like you and I, it's not what's at hand here. It's not what's being discussed because the SEC lost that portion. We're just talking about institutional level purchases, so Ripple's clients. Were any of them harmed? Well, certainly none of them that I've seen have come out and claimed that they've been harmed, but have they been harmed? And the fact of the matter is, I mean, if the price is higher than when they purchased XRP, then they haven't been. And so now this is a precedent which is relevant to the case. Very bad for the SEC. And so here's a post from John Deaton on this topic. He said, the people who've argued that the SEC got a 50-50 victory in the Ripple case are 100% wrong. It was more like 90-10 in Ripple's favor. If Ripple ends up paying $20 million or less, it's a 99.9% legal victory. And folks, that might happen. And attorney Bill Morgan said it's plausible, I don't know to what degree likely, but he said it's plausible that Ripple ends up paying literally $0.00 as a fine. That would be fantastic. And then there was also this from attorney Jeremy Hogan. He wrote, Alderati is highlighting this case because they are in the damages phase. And this case is saying that XRP holders must have lost money on XRP in order for Ripple to be liable. And if you bought XRP for under its current price, you haven't been damaged, by Ripple at least. And then XRP community member Vincent Van Code wrote to him and said, well, it would be the institutional investors who would have lost money, as only those sales are in the scope of damages. Am I right? The blind sales to the average Joe are not. And so, folks, this is what I was getting at just a second ago, but I'm highlighting this just to confirm. Attorney Jeremy Hogan responded and wrote, correct. And now it's only institutional buyers who bought XRP for over 60 cents. Although, at the time I'm recording this, it's been a few minutes since I checked, but last I checked, XRP was, around 64 cents? Who knows what it is by the time you're watching this, but so now 64 cents or higher. And then Vincent Van Code wrote to him and said, thank you. One more take. What if the buyers had a contract with Ripple to use XRP for intended ODL purposes? As I think there was one. I'm pretty sure there would be a liability waiver in there. Attorney Hogan said, sophisticated question. I believe that the federal law, securities law, would trump the contractual liability waiver. Which I found interesting. I hadn't seen that discussed anywhere else. And then Attorney John Deaton reposted what Attorney Jeremy said about XRP. It only applies to institutional buyers who bought XRP over 60 cents. Deaton said, excluding ODL transactions, I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't a single institutional investor who acquired XRP over 60 cents. Now that's a virtual certainty, honestly. Because again, he says excluding ODL. But even if you're talking about ODL, to what degree could any of them have been damaged when XRP is only being held for a few seconds for each transaction? This is not good for the SEC, which is why, again, fills my heart with joy. All right, on to this last story now. And listen up, if you've got a Ledger hardware wallet, Just don't fall for this or anything like this. The headline from Cointelegraph: Fake Ledger Live app sneaks into Microsoft's App Store, $588,000 stolen. Almost $600,000 in Bitcoin has been stolen from users who downloaded a fake Ledger Live application on Microsoft's App Store, according to cryptocurrency sleuth Zach XBT. The on-chain analyst spotted the scam Ledger Live Web3 on November 5th, which is tricking users into thinking that they're downloading Ledger Live, a user interface for Ledger hardware wallets to store cryptocurrency offline. Approximately 16.8 Bitcoin worth $588,000 has been received by the scammer across 38 transactions using the wallet address, and they cite it according to blockchain.com. About $115,200 has left the scammer's wallet across 2 transactions, leaving it with $473,800 or 13.5 Bitcoin. So hopefully they get caught, but this stuff can be rather tricky. A lot of times these people do end up screwing up. They do something wrong and they do get caught. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes down here. But here is Zach XBT sharing a screen grab of this. Don't go here. This is a scam. As he highlighted, it's on your screen right here. Ledger Live Web3. Don't download that. It shouldn't ever been placed in the store. The actual place to get this software is Ledger's official website, ledger.com. And this is it. If you go to ledger.com, you highlight the product section, you go to download Ledger Live, click on that, and then bam, download the app. That's it. So just to be super duper clear, make sure you type it in correctly, because who knows, like you've seen these damn scammers. If you type one letter wrong, they'll anticipate that some percentage of people will do that, and there can be like duplicate websites. I've seen stuff like that before. I don't know if there's anything like that specifically for Ledger, but just watch that. Just don't have fat fingers. Just delicately type in the word Ledger and then .com and download it here. So anyway, I just wanted to highlight in case it could potentially save anybody, because if you go in and download that scam app, and it'll look like the real thing. And if it'll get you to put in your private key, and if you do that, it's game over. You're going to lose everything at whatever address you give it. Please don't fall for that. So I just want to take a couple minutes here just to highlight that. Other than that, your assets are safe, though. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.